Hello my friends, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Eddie and this is Hustle and Grow. Man, first of all, just let me say, I don't know what the temperature been where y'all at, but man, temperature up here in northern part of PA has been hot. So anyway, I'm trying to think straight because I'm so hot and annoyed right now. It's like hard to think. And then I got to turn off the fan and the air conditioner while I do this, or you won't be able to hear nothing. So anyway, hope you guys had good sales over the weekend coming into this week. Mine was pretty decent. Honestly, I ain't got no complaints. Yesterday was pretty slow coming into today. And as of right now, today really ain't that. And it's like, yeah, you know, but it's whatever. I'm getting some work done. Sometimes I'm okay when it's like I'm not swamped with sales because I actually get to do things, you know. But anyway, today's video, I want to talk about increasing your sales, and something that I know some sellers know about. I don't really see many sellers talk about it, you know, in the videos. And so I wanted to just talk about this. It's a very simple thing, and I just wanted to bring it to your attention. So, you know, some of the things that we think of when we think about increasing our sales, whether it be sell-through rate, higher average sale price, things like that, right? When we want to, you know, bring more revenue to our bottom line. And those are all good things, right? When we get on these platforms like eBay, one of the things that I think some sellers overlook, and I did for a while too, is when eBay added a while back for us to be able to see our repeat buyers. Okay, now a repeat buyer doesn't necessarily mean someone who has come back more than once. A repeat buyer can also be someone who has purchased something from you or purchased more than one item from you in the same transaction. So that can be also considered a repeat buyer. But either way, I didn't used to give that as much consideration as I have been lately. So lately I've been really giving that some consideration, playing around with these options that I'm about to point out to you. And it has really been helping me out despite the issues and despite the lack of sales. Overall, it's been upping my sales. So, and that is going to be the whole getting people to follow your store and to save you as a seller and sending out newsletters. Now, in order to do these things, you do need a store, but I feel like a lot of sellers don't use that newsletter option as much as they should, or as effectively as they should, and using that coupon auction and doing everything you can to get someone to save your store and follow you, and then basically marketing to them. Look, here's the facts. It costs less to keep a buyer than it does to acquire one. And I think a lot of sellers do not consider that fact. It's easier to sell something to someone who has already purchased something from you and had a good experience than it is to sell something to someone who has never dealt with you before. Okay, if someone has already dealt with you and purchased something from you, even if it's not related and they had a good experience, they're like, oh, okay, I trust this seller, right? You have that trust factor. Whereas if not, then there's some considerations there. They want to look around. They want to shop around. A person will pay more to buy something from someone they trust as opposed to buying something from someone they never dealt with. And we all know this is true. And no matter what you deal with, whether it's eBay, whether it's you going to see a mechanic, I would rather pay more knowing that I've dealt with this person. They get a job done. They do good work. The product is a quality product than to go to somebody else that I have absolutely no idea about what I'm going to get. And it might not even be bad. You know, they might not even have a bad product or bad service. It's just that I trust them, right? And so it's the same way on shopping online, even more so, because when you're shopping online, you really don't know. And you know, on eBay, not only do you really not know, you just don't know what you're going to get in the mail. So on eBay, if you find a seller that's going to actually send you what the hell they described, you're probably going to stick around and follow their store and see if they have other things that come up that you're interested in. And so I know some of you guys who have everything stores, so this is going to be easier, of course, for someone who sells in specific categories or sell related items. If you sell everything here and there, mostly one-offs, you may think that this does not matter as much, but I think I'm going to I used to think the same way, but I think I'm going to disagree with that. Now, you may not get as much out of it. However, I think it can be effective for you if you push this, because how do you know what that person might be looking for at any given time, first of all? And then how do you know if they won't buy something from you that's related to something that they already purchased from you? If you've already given them a good experience, they already trust you. So now you just need to retain them, right? And so in this video, I'm going to show you, just go through real quick. This is something that has increased my followers. Now, in my case, I've been selling in specific categories for a certain amount of time. So it is a little bit different, okay? It is a little bit different. People are going to find certain things over and over again in my store, okay? But still, nonetheless, I've been utilizing this tool, the newsletters, the buyer groups and things like that. Nothing new. You guys, there's videos out there, but I don't really hear nobody pushing hard on using newsletters to get people to, like, what I'll do is I'll say, listen, you know, I'll message the people that buy in the buyer groups and things, let them know, make sure you save the store. And eBay also does it after a purchase, right? They'll say, do you want to save this seller? But let people know also, make sure that you save the store for exclusive discounts, you know, that only my followers receive. Also, what I did was I changed my automatic feedback. So I used to just leave feedback after people left me positive feedback. I stopped doing that. So now after the purchase, I just leave feedback. And in the feedback, I say, make sure you save me a sell. Basically, I can't remember exactly what I wrote, but it's basically to the effect of, make sure you follow the store, save me as a seller for exclusive discounts or exclusive coupons, something to that effect, right? So this is how you can utilize these things, and you send these things as often as eBay will let you, because the fact of the matter is, at some point, you're probably going to come across something that person will be interested in again, even if you do have an everything store. Yeah, maybe you sell some VCR stuff and some golf clubs and this and a little bit of that. But also what it does, also what you can do is, when you have these certain things that sell, let's say for instance, DVD VCR combo, what type of related things can you find around that, maybe that you can either add in as a bundle or that you can sell separately? Maybe there's things that I don't know. Honestly, I don't know as far as those things go, because I don't sell those things, but you know what you sell. So even if you don't know if you'll come across a specific item again anytime soon, maybe you can find items, or maybe it'll be easier to find items that are related to that item. Maybe they need something to clean the item you sold them. Maybe they need something that could be as an add-on to the item you sold them. Anything. And so maybe they'll come back for those specific items. All I'm saying is, it's up to you as the store owner to figure out ways to bring back repeat traffic. How can you bring, it can't be just, oh, I only sell this stuff, so it's really not likely that somebody's going to come back. Okay, well, how can you increase that chance? How can you find, there's opportunity there? I think a lot of us, a lot of times, overlook the opportunity, right? We say, well, I just sell this, and this, a little bit of everything. Ain't nobody coming back. I ain't even going to worry about that or waste time. Well, I feel like that's missed opportunity, because you can. Again, you can find related items. You can find items that are similar. You can be on it, and it gives you something more to look for. It might open you up to a whole new category, a whole new world of things, a whole new profit area, whole new revenue center. And then in a way to retain some of those buyers who have purchased from you before, and you make sure you give them a good experience. You make sure you have exceptional customer service, and 9 times out of 10, when you have something that they're looking for, they would rather purchase from you as opposed to somebody they haven't dealt with on eBay. Okay, so look, I'm gonna get into this on my computer and show you guys just some of what I be doing and how it has affected and increased. I mean, my follower count has gone up. My what you call it, repeat buyer. Again, the repeat buyer thing does not necessarily mean they come back more than once. It could be people buying more than one thing at a time, but nevertheless, repeat business, right? How can you find things that or similar to what you are already selling that are complementary, that can go hand in hand, anything like that. This is your challenge to think of that. Based on what I sell, is there anything related to the things that I sell? Yeah, I might not come across this again, but what's out there that people may need to maintenance this? What's out there that people may need to, I don't know, clean this thing, to do this, to do that? And when you figure out what's out there, figure out if it's worth you going out to acquire, to source, if you can make a profit off of it. This will open you up to a lot of things, man. Trust me. I do this. Okay. So anyway, let's get into this part of the video. All right, guys. So today we are going to talk about how to increase your sales by not only increasing buyer retention, but increasing your follower count, which is kind of the same thing. So, you know, you want to gain buyers, but you also want to retain those buyers. Remember, it costs less to retain a buyer than it does to actually acquire one. So now, what I want you to see is this area right here, right? And this is how I've been able to, with very minimum effort that I put into eBay, okay? I've increased my total buyers by 10%. This is over the last month with, you know, all the issues with eBay, sales being down. You know, I've had the same issues as everybody else, as far as, like, you know, a good day here, a bad day there, and having all those issues. So despite all of those issues, one of the things that I started doing was focusing on how to get more out of what I have. And I think this is one of the good things that eBay has available that a lot of people don't realize, and why they did it in the first place, because they understand that it's easier to get the same person who has already purchased from you and had a good experience to make another purchase, as opposed to trying to get somebody to make that first purchase. And so this may be more difficult in a store that does everything, but it's something you should still attain to, and you should still focus on, because you might have something else that someone's interested in. So please don't discount this just because you don't sell in a specific category or niche, or, you know, a certain type of the same type of item. All right, if you even have related items to the items you sell, this is good. Okay, but let's focus on this, right? So I'm up 10%, 10.8% on my total buyers. My one-time buyers are up 9%. My repeat buyers, I got 10 repeat buyers, up 42.9%. Now this can be kind of skewed, because if a person purchases more than one item, they will be considered a repeat buyer. But nonetheless, that number is up. These numbers are up over the last month. All right, even though I've been working on this longer than a month, I just wanted to show you guys because I thought this was important. Now let's go look at here. I'm going to show you what I have as far as, like, I want you to focus on not necessarily the feedback, but the items sold and the followers. Okay, 15K items sold, 657 followers. Now, of course, that 15K items sold does not necessarily mean 15K separate customers, because some customers buy more than one item. But that ratio of 657 into 15K. So now, according to Chat GPT, my ratio of items sold to followers is about 22 to 23. So that means for every 23 sales, I'm getting one follower. Now, this isn't an exact science because of a few factors, which is, one, some buyers buy more than one item, so that 15K plus, this is probably going to be more than 15K. It's going to stay at 15K until it gets to 16, but this is probably more. But one, some buyers buy more than one item, so that's going to kind of skew that a little bit, and some other things. But let's just say, just so we, for the sake of argument, all right, I'm getting about 23 followers per, or no, I'm getting one follower per 23 items sold. So one of the things that I started doing some time ago, and look, again, if you sell pretty much everything, this may not, it may be harder for you to increase your follower count. However, it's not impossible. You should be looking to increase this regardless, okay? Because this is what's going to help you increase sales, especially during slow times and down times. All right, now if you sell, let's say for instance you're selling a Keurig. So maybe you buy other things that are related to Keurigs, you know, maybe K-cups. I don't know. Just, it doesn't have to always be the same type of item. It can be related items that will also bring people back to your store. But you want to increase that. And then the other aspect of this, right, is how do you gain followers? Well, if you have a store, you're going to have to use the newsletter option. All right, this is important. Newsletter. You want people to subscribe to your newsletter and your store. You want to offer specific coupons and specific discounts for people that already made a purchase from you. Now, if you look at this, right, I want y'all to look at this. It gives you my summary from January to September, right? September 6th, which is today that I'm making this video. Now, it says January, so I didn't start doing this as aggressively way back then. So these numbers actually probably could be even higher if I had really thought about this at that, you know, months ago and started doing it. But total reach of the newsletters have been 15,000, right? My open rate is 30% and my click-through rate is 1%. Now, I really don't have a base yet for what is good or not. So that's why I have to keep doing this a little bit longer. But I know it's been working. So I feel like 30% open rate is not bad. That's what I think. Let's see something. Okay. So I feel like that's not bad. 1%, I feel like that should be a little bit higher, but maybe that's good. Maybe 1% of, you know, whatever you sending out is good. So I mean 1% of 1503 is about 15 people, right? So that means about 15 people every 1500 are going to open this. I think, if that math is right. I'm just kind of doing it off the top of my head, but y'all let me know in the comments if I'm right or wrong. So my goal from this point on would be to see if I can increase this open rate. So that would mean playing around with titles and things like that, and of course click-through rate, right? Now over here on the left, you can look at, let me see, or you can create a campaign by going here to create campaign. Now, here's the options they give you. You can do new products and collections, you can do coupons, sell and markdown event, which they have as new, order discount, and volume pricing. Okay, I try to send these out as often, and my goal was every day, but I have not been doing it every day, so I'm not going to say I have been, but I have been doing it multiple times a week. I don't know how many you can send, what the frequency is. Somebody let me know in the comments if they would allow you to send. I think you can send them every day, but my goal has been to do it, but I'm not going to lie to you guys, I haven't been doing it every day. I've been doing it a few times a week, and I need to get more consistent with that aspect of it. But just the little amount I've been doing it, I've been seeing results, which is motivating me to actually do more. But either way, now I can send these newsletters out. Now what you want to do is, like, let's just say for instance, if I got a sale going on, I select sale markdown event next. Now in this sale and markdown event, I can select recipients, right? Most recent buyers, again, because it gives you days and time, you know, the amount of time that it's been, followers, all subscribers, and then you can create your buyer and follower groups. All right, down here is where you will put your subject line, right in there, and you would kind of just go from there, right? The main thing that I want to point out is come up with a plan for increasing your subscriber count, your follower count. I'm going to come back to hit this. Increase your follower count, increase the amount of people who follow your stores, and use newsletters. Use them every day. Send something out. Give incentives for people to subscribe to your store, to follow your store by saying, hey, follow my store for this type of discount. And you send specific coupons to your followers that you don't send to those who buy. So I got buyer groups and follower groups, right? And I send certain coupons to my followers that I do not send to my buyers. For instance, let's say I have 2 coupons. I might send a 5% discount to buyers, but I'll send a 10% discount to followers. You see what I'm saying? So it just depends, right? I'm not sending the same discount because I want those followers, because they are like forever, right? Once they get the notifications and things like that. So you want people to save your store. That is the main goal. And so this is how I've been able to increase my sales, increase my traffic in my store, despite all the issues that eBay is having, by focusing on increasing the amount of repeat traffic that I get to my store. Okay, so having said that, let's talk about some other stuff. So there you go, right? Pretty simple. Again, I really don't like putting all my store info out there. I mean, for obvious reasons, but not, for any like weird reasons or nothing like that. I don't trust people. But I mean, it's out there. It ain't like I never put it out there. I just really don't do it. But anyway, based on what I just showed you, this has really been helping me out. Now I know it's a fairly small sample size and there's a lot of factors that go into it. Okay, there are. However, the effect, I've seen the effect of it. Okay, there is an effect. Now I can't really tell you like, well, if I did this and didn't do that exactly, like I can't pinpoint it, but I can say overall that focusing in on this has been helping me increase my, okay, look, here's the perfect example. And you guys will, you'll, if you ain't picking up what I'm putting down yet, you will after this. eBay having issues with acquiring and retaining new buyers, right? They're having an issue. They lost a lot of buyers, a lot. So what do? They say, you know what? We are going to use our existing customer base and come up with some ways to increase our revenue. That way, we don't have to focus as much on bringing those other buyers. We rather put our capital into this because we already have an existing base that use our platform. And who is that existing customer base? You got it. Us, the sellers. And what do? Oh, they get into a little think tank and they come up with promoted listings. Man. And then not only do they come up with promoted listings, but it's like a TV show. Let's see how many different spinoffs we can have, because this thing is working, man. We brought in almost $500 million. So, man, what else can we do? We got the tree. Now let's get some branches and see what else we can put out there and how we can maximize our profits off of our existing customer base by adding all these separate products that's based on this one thing, which is advertising. And so that's what they do. And so they've been able to generate a lot of revenue off of their existing customer base, which is us, by just coming up with different levels of promoted listings and things like that, pay-per-click. Just by coming up with those different levels, they've brought in a lot of revenue. And I think that's a very, very important lesson that a lot of people, because they're upset about the whole promoted listing things, kind of overlook and don't really think like, okay, if this is working for them, what are they doing? Why are they doing it? And how can I implement it in my business? Okay. And this is how I think about things. So I say, okay, if they're doing it and they give us this option to do this with our customers, irregardless of what type of items you sell, everybody's going to have a different level of effectiveness with this technique and with these options, right? However, it is only going to help. It's only going to help. And we put time and effort in so many things and so many gimmicks, but we don't think to use the tools most effectively that are already given to us. And so you have to learn how to think about, how do I get the most out of what has already been given to me? And using these newsletters I know it's an underused tool. I know it because I hardly hear anybody talk about it. I'm not saying people don't use it, because I know people do. However, the fact that you don't really hear too many people talk about it lets you know that not that many people either use it or think that it's effective enough to use, which I think is a miscalculation on their parts if that's the case. And so look, I'm just here to tell you today, man, eBay did this for a reason, right? They started using their existing customer base for a reason. You have to think about ways to use your existing, first to increase your existing customer base, increase your follower count, use those newsletters, use exclusive coupons, things like that that only your followers get. Create those buyer groups, create those follower groups, give people incentive to save your store. And for those of you who like to send thank you cards and things like that, hey, use that in your thank you card. You have a QR code on your thank you card that sends them directly to your store to save you as a seller if they haven't already, and let them know on your thank you card, all my followers get special discounts, right? That nobody else gets. So if you want to be a member of the VIP club, scan this QR code, save my store, and you know, and we'll be in touch. I mean, things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I know I made a video about, you know, how some of these things could be a waste of money, but I think that may be effective. You probably be a small percentage that actually utilize it. So, but if you're one of those people who like to send those things out, then why not do it that way? QR code, save my store, get exclusive coupons. Use the automatic feedback, leave automatic feedback, encourage them to save your store to receive exclusive coupons. Even if it's somebody that haven't purchased from you and they see and they're going through and they're checking your feedback, they might see that, oh, this seller actually, you know, let me go ahead and buy something and then I'll save their store and see what type of discounts I can get, right? And then while you're doing that, you also looking at your store, you're looking at the items that you buy or that you sell, that you source and sell. And so you're not only just looking for those items, but you're kind of going to broaden the spectrum now, and you're going to think of what type of complementary items make sense for you to source that can be profitable, that you can add to your store, that's going to help you increase that follower count, increase that retention, and also thus increasing your sales, right? And the overall growth of your store. All right. So do me a favor. If you think this video was helpful, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and you got to hit the notification bell, or else how you going to know when I upload another video? I'm out.